Jackson, when you went into the transfer portal, you had a lot of options. What was it about Auburn that made that the right decision?
Yeah, I think early on, the coaches were immediately texting me as soon as I entered the portal, or as soon as that day opened up for the transfer portal. They were the first ones that texted me, communicated to me. Almost all the offensive coaches texted me early on, and not only that, I think like a day later, I hopped on a Zoom call with them all, and they kind of laid out everything for me, showed me my fit in their offense, our offensive depth, depth in the team in general, not just offense. They really prided on their defense, and housed a bunch of young guys last year, and all those guys are coming back this year. And I think that, with the depth that we have and the coaches we have and the scheme, the offensive scheme that fits me so well, I thought it was a perfect fit for me.
Right side, second row, then pass it forward.
Hey, Jackson. Johnny Condon, ABC 3340 Sports up in Birmingham. Coach Freeze was up here earlier and said how he had everybody on the team take a personality test so that they could best be coached. I'm interested what it went into that, how you like to be coached, and do you think that's a beneficial thing for the guys on the team?
Yeah, he did have us take a personality test. I took mine on my official visit, like one random morning. And I don't know if he used that as like a weeding out tool for the transfer portal, but obviously there's something about it he liked. So, yeah, I mean, I do like it for coaching. He wants to see what personalities fit him and his coaching style. And, if that fit's not good, then, don't grab that guy out of the portal. So I completely understand him doing that.
Left side, third row.
Good morning, Jackson. AP Stedham, AP as we see it. Jackson, what did you learn from your experience at Oklahoma that you're bringing to Auburn, and what can you tell us about the receiving core that you found on the Plains?
Yeah, last year was tough. Obviously, not ideal whatsoever, but I think perseverance was a big thing that I learned last year, and kind of fighting through the tough times. And we did play in some big games last year, and so now I fully understand what it's like playing a long SEC schedule against some good teams, and playing in those tough games where it's extremely close and you have to kind of grind it out. But I think last year taught me a lot. Being able to persevere and really sticking through those tough games. And coming to our receiving core this year, obviously it's a bunch of studs out there. I'm not even going to name them because we have too many, but I'm super excited about this group, and I think they're going to produce a lot in the field this year.
Right side, front row.
Jackson, Ike Jones with the War Report. You say that this scheme was a good fit for you. This is your now fourth offensive scheme that you've had to deal with. Kind of what about this scheme is something that you feel like is a good fit, and what's been the most difficult adjustment in the transition to Auburn?
Yeah, the biggest thing Coach Freeze sold me on with the scheme was one, the RPO game, and two, the deep shots. And that's something that I've been doing a lot since high school, and even my first couple of years in college was huge in the RPOs and huge in the deep shots. Coach Freeze isn't scared to push the ball down the field, which I absolutely love. And I thought that with my experience running the RPO game, I think it meshed well with what Coach Freeze was wanting to do with his offense.
Back row in the middle, then pass it forward one.
Jackson, you were in the same sort of seat last year at Oklahoma. What do you think it is about your personality, and what did you accomplish there to be able to become a leader so quickly, and what have you now done, you think, at Auburn that made you a selection here? And then Freeze also mentioned you were one of the top vote getters, becoming a member of the Leadership Council at Auburn.
Honestly, I think it's just really experience. This is about to be my third year of college. I've played a full year. Played a full year of SEC ball, had it under my belt. I think the guys on the team respect that. But not only that, I feel like I came in and really wanted to establish myself early on, and made sure in the spring, everyone knew that I was going to take control of his team and lead them. And, I thought I did a pretty good job of that in the spring. And we initially had a leadership council when I got in the spring, and I wasn't on it. And I made sure that was one of my goals, was for the summer to be on that leadership council. So.
Fourth row, then pass it two to your left.
Nick Wiggins, Mobile, Alabama, WNSP. When Oklahoma became a part of the SEC, did you have a kind of welcome to the SEC moment where you thought, man, this league is different, like everyone says? And then I'll also ask, from that moment till now, what aspects of your game have improved the most?
We were playing, I remember walking out against South Carolina. like, God, dude, like their D line was unbelievable last year, and so I'm like, gosh, dude, like these dudes are their D line was absolutely huge. Like you got freaking 6'6", looks like twins on the outside edges, and they hit hard that game, and they had a really good defense. I think that was probably the biggest welcome to the SEC moment.
Right side, third row.
Trevor Denton, Way 31. Just where's your confidence at right now compared to when you finished up at Oklahoma?
Yeah, my confidence is extremely high right now, and I credit that to my whole teammates, man. I think having their respect and their trust and going out and doing what we did in the spring, I feel like the offense had a really efficient spring, in which, instilled a lot of confidence in me, but at the same time, like, knowing that those guys have faith and trust in me to, elect me for something like the Leadership Council, that gives me, a lot of hope and a lot of confidence. And that these dudes really believe in me and really want me to lead them this year.
Fourth row.
Jackson, coming from Oklahoma to Auburn, which team and fan base is there more animosity towards, Texas or Alabama?
It's a great question. Honestly, OU Texas, there's a lot of hate, but I feel like the people here like just cannot stand Alabama. Like, it's unbelievable. And OU Texas is very similar. Like, it's not far off. I feel like those two rivalries are probably the two best rivalries in college football. But I feel like if you mention Alabama here, like somebody will kind of look at you funny. It's pretty funny. Like, we even have a rule in our facility, like you can't wear red in our facility at all. Right? If you do, you lose points and you have to do like up downs and stuff. So.
Right side, third row.
Julian Mitchell, WVTM 13 in Birmingham. My question for you, I wanted to ask, from a year ago to now, just how do you feel from a mental standpoint, and just how good has it been to be at Auburn and maybe have a fresh start here and do something special here at Auburn?
Yeah, it's been great. I think this offseason was good for me mentally, just kind of being in a new place and, like you said, getting a fresh start, being around new people, new coaches, new players, new scenery too. Honestly, like I think Auburn's beautiful. It's a great scenery. I think for me mentally, I need to be in a new spot, to be around some other people in order to thrive. And I feel like, God put me in a great position that I'm in right now, and I'm super excited for the season.
Last two questions, here and then here.
Hey, Jackson. Lindsey Bonner, WAKA in Montgomery. Jordan Hare is known by many to be one of the best environments in college football. How excited are you to start playing there this fall?
Extremely excited. We did play there last year, and it was, as an opponent, it was unbelievably loud in that stadium. So the only thing I'm sad about is I won't be able to see the eagle fly pregame, but super excited about playing there.
Final question.
Jackson, you guys open with Baylor this season. Just can you feel a difference, or you think you might be able to feel a difference, like preseason, through the summer and into fall camp, about just kind of the focus and the intensity when you're going to have to be sharp to beat a team like that in week one?
Yeah, I think, I don't think just because it's Baylor week one that we would prepare any different. But, obviously Baylor's a very good team, and it's going to be a great test for us. And I think things are starting to ramp up now. We're starting to get into game planning and starting to get into film study and stuff like that. So it's definitely starting to ramp up, but we'll prepare the same every week like it's the hardest game on our schedule, and we just try to go 1-0 each week. But I am excited about playing in Texas on a Friday night, just like high school. So,
Jackson, thank you very much. Good job. We welcome Keldric Faulk, and he is ready for your questions. We'll start over here on the right side, third row, and then pass it to your right.
Hey, Keldric, Johnny Condon, ABC 3340 in Birmingham. Coach Freeze was up here earlier talking about he's giving everybody on the team a personality test. I'm interested, have you taken one of those yet, and what that entails?
Yeah, I took a personality test, and it was like just to see like what kind of person that you are, and like really just to figure out a different way to approach you whenever something goes wrong.
Trevor Denton with Way 31. Also, he was up here talking about how he's embracing high expectations for this team this year. What are your expectations for what this defense could be, how good it can be?
Yeah, I feel like our defense could be the best in the country, in my opinion. Like, We have so many guys that played last year that was young, especially in our secondary. Our secondary was containing mostly freshmen and second-year guys. So I feel like everybody has another year under them, and really that's another year of maturity. So I do expect a lot out of our whole defense. We should, at the end of the year, be the best defense in the country.
Right side, second row.
Ike Jones with the War Report. Keldric, what's it been like this year? It's your third year, but this year your brother's there with you. What's it like been having him on campus with you this year?
Man, it's just like it was in high school. Like he was my, my brother is my best friend. So, just having my best friend back in the same area as me is one of the best things in the world. Is, what I dreamt about having, and it's been a dream just having him up there just with me every day.
Left side, and then pass it to your left.
Dan Peck, ESPN 106.7 in Auburn. Keldric, a lot of the vocal leaders from last year's team have moved on. They're out of eligibility. How has your role changed, and where else is the leadership coming from the defense this year?
Right. So last year I was one of the leaders that led by example. So, like you said, a lot of them left, and they were one of the most vocal ones on the team. So I had to take over that role of just being a little more vocal, letting people hear my voice, because a lot of people like to say when the team hear my voice, a lot of people listen. So just keep going and leading by example, but also trying to lead the young guys and getting the transfer guys in adjusted as well.
Middle, back row, then pass it forward.
William Halliday, Auburn Undercover. Keldric, could you talk about the impact Jordan Crawford has made on the defensive line and what you've seen from him this offseason?
Man, Jordan Crawford, man, he gonna be one of the most aggressive guys on our D line. I mean, he's a big guy, powerful, explosive, and then to be his size, he can move extremely well. So, I'm greatly excited just to have him on the team, and he's going to be one of the best players on that defense in the next coming years.
Middle, fourth row.
Keldric, how have you sort of grown as a person over the past couple seasons now to where you are viewed as one of the best players on this team? People are talking about you as a potential first-round pick next year. I guess, how do you deal with some of those expectations internally?
Don't deal with it. Like I take every day, and I deal with every day just like I've been doing. So, I don't worry about the NFL. I don't worry about any of that. I worry about the 2025-2026 season with Auburn Tigers.
In the middle.
Hey, Coach, Tony Reese, WTV. I'm out of Columbus. Man, we talk about it being in the same position just this time last year, now being back here. Clearly, you're looked at as a leader. Coach gives you a lot of praise. You were kind of being his guys. Just kind of what does that mean for you and to be in this position and to be looked at as one of those guys?
It means that my team has a lot of faith in me and a lot of faith in how I approach the game, how I lead them, and how much energy I bring to each and every person on that team. So I make sure that everybody is up to beat, everybody is ready to work, and make sure we have a very productive day, because we can't lose not one of them.
Middle, third row, and pass to your right.
Keldric, Hugh's record since getting to Auburn, 11-14, is being trumpeted a lot. He's on a lot of hot seat lists. As one of the leaders of that team, as a guy that plays hard for him, do you take that personally? Do you challenge your teammates to make sure that he's taken off some of these lists at the end of the season?
Right. I mean, yeah, I do take that personally. Like, Coach deserves this job, and it's up to us now to keep this going. And Coach has put some of the best people around us, whether it be coaching staff, players that he's brought in. So he's brought in his own players, his own coaching staff, and now it's just up to us to go out there and execute.
Front row.
Keldric, you guys opening with Baylor this year, a little different than the last two openers y'all had. How much of a difference do you think that's going to make kind of in fall camp or preparation, or have you seen it kind of guys being maybe a little bit more focused, a little more energized, knowing y'all are going to have to be really sharp in week one?
Yeah, so Baylor is they're not a pushover team. So, man, we coming in, we're opening up the week of fall camp just with a focused mindset. I mean, we're surely not gonna, keep them in our main focus when we first start off. But man, we're definitely gonna prepare like we're playing them that following week.
Third row.
Just how much urgency have you felt this offseason to turn things around?
Sorry?
How much urgency have you felt throughout the offseason, throughout workouts, to turn this around and get that winning season that's been elusive?
Man, yeah. So when I came through high school, man, I was never used to having a losing season. So, man, and a lot of guys that come to Auburn, we never was used to having a losing season. So, I mean, just to get back to that winning way, our winning ways is vital for me. Like, I want to feel the drive just for at the end of the game, to know that we didn't put a team away, and for us to do that, we gotta be more consistent. I mean, we practice consistent. We have to work out consistent. We have to eat, drink, and sleep consistently.
Third row.
Ginny Duffy, Auburn on SI. There's been a lot of talk about the Auburn-Georgia game being cut. What's your take on that? What does that game mean to you?
She said what it was?
With the 9-game conference schedule, SEC's looking to expand.
They might take Georgia off your schedule. How would you feel about that?
Well, no, they can't do that. Yeah, they can't do that right there. Like Georgia is like one of the games we look forward to playing. So, we have to keep Georgia on our schedule.
On the right side.
Alex Byington on 3. You kind of touched on it a little bit, but you're putting pressure on yourself personally. But how much pressure is actually on this team to have a special season there, year 3 with you and that kind of thing?
Yeah, I feel like it's a lot of outside pressure on us just because of the past 2 seasons. But I mean, man, I feel like our team is so much more confident than they were in the past couple of years. So, I mean, I don't feel like nobody on the team is overwhelmed with the pressure. I feel like we're embracing it because that's what we want. And I mean, our expectations for ourselves is even greater than the expectations that people have for us.
Final 2 questions in the back and then right here on the front.
And Keldric up here for the second year in a row representing the pass rush. Where else is the pass rush going to come from for Auburn this year? Who else can you single out as a guy people should watch out for?
Man, yeah, Keiron Crawford, man, he gonna be one of them guys that gonna have a breakout season this year. I mean, he was one of the guys that came in later on in the season and gave a great pass rushing presence. And now, not him having that role of. Now he done played a year in the SEC. He gets a feel for it. I feel like now he's gonna take a huge step and just being a tremendous ball player.
Right here.
How different is this offensive line group than the one you've seen at Auburn the last 2 years?
Man, they're a lot more versatile. So we have a lot of guys that can play everywhere across the O-line. So, we. Man, and then those guys are long and athletic. Like our tackles are 6, 8, 7 foot wingspans, and they can move pretty well. So yeah, I feel like our O line is I think this has been the best O line that we've recruited so far.
Squeeze in one more final question right here.
Keldric, I want to ask you specifically about Amaris. We heard from him in the spring how I guess more mature he feels like he'd been and how big of a step forward. What have you seen from him? A guy plays a similar position, I know. What have you seen him grow?
Man, Amaris has grown in like every aspect. Maturity, physically, I mean, Amaris is like the way he approaches every day is a lot different. He doesn't approach it like a freshman. He approaches it like a fourth-year senior. So, I mean, he's gonna be a really good player this year. He's gonna contribute tremendously well, and man, I'm excited for him because he didn't get a lot of playing time last year. He got into some games, but he didn't get a lot of playing time. But man, he approached the offseason. He approached the offseason like a pro should, and if he keep approaching the rest of the off season, going into fall camp like that, man, he gonna do really great things this year.
Keldric, thank you very much.
Yes, sir.
I was there probably before you were born. Okay, we welcome Connor Liu to our podium here. He is ready for some questions. Who would like to start off? We'll start here in the front row if we could.
Connor, how different does this offensive line group feel heading into year 3 than the last 2 you played with at Auburn?
I think the biggest thing is just a combination of talent as well as how we've meshed so far at this point in the season. So I'm really excited to get to work with these guys in fall camp and then compete with them in the season.
We'll go over in the 4th row.
Hey, Connor, you guys are opening with Baylor. I know the last couple of seasons y'all have opened with teams that aren't quite at Baylor's level. How much of a difference do you think that's going to make in fall camp? Have you seen it kind of make any difference in the summer with the kind of the focus and the intensity?
I'm not sure that it changes the preparation, but opening up with a game like that, the opportunity to get a head start and get some momentum going into the season, that's going to be really big for us that week.
Stay on the 4th row.
Connor, last season, the Auburn offense struggled at times to turn red zone possessions into touchdowns. What needs to change, and how much of that's on the offensive line?
I think the biggest thing that will help us with that this season is just, I think we're a lot more well-rounded. We run into a bunch of new receivers. I think our run game will continue to be strong, and that'll balance it out and open up both for us. So that should help.
We'll go on the front row here on the right.
Hey, Connor. Tony Reese, WTVM out of Columbus. I'm sorry if you already answered. Coach Freeze gave you a lot of praise and a lot of credit for being a cornerstone now, this offensive line being one of the best ones he's had since he's been again. Just kind of what does that mean for you as a prideful thing, and just kind of how you really hope to capitalize on that this season with you and your guys?
Yeah, I'm honored to be in the center position and kind of get the play started every time, IDing and all that stuff. So I take pride in that stuff, and it's awesome here.
We'll stay on the front row.
Connor, you guys bring in X and Mason. Got a chance to see Mason a little bit in the spring, but what have you seen from those two guys that make you excited about them heading into a season?
Just how both of them come in with experience at other places. It was really cool to see them pick up the offense fast and made our jobs easier. We didn't have to spend a lot of time on coaching up. We could get straight into the technique, but the calls and stuff they picked up and that made it easy on us. So that was really cool.
Go on the 4th row and then pass it back.
Connor, obviously you were able to block for Jarquez for a couple years. He was super productive for you guys. What have you seen from this running back group that makes you confident you guys are going to be able to fill that production?
I think they're all good in their own way, these three guys, and I'm excited to see them, get their opportunities and showcase their talents for us in the run game.
5th row.
William Halliday, Auburn Undercover. Connor, Coach Freeze talked about Jordan Crawford's impact this offseason. You've gone up against him in practice. Can you kind of talk about his impact just on the team and what he's done this offseason?
Yeah, just being out in the spring, I didn't really get a chance to go, one-on-one against him. But watching the film and stuff, I think he's going to be really good for us, especially as a freshman. He's really strong. I think that's the biggest thing that sticks out about him. So I'm excited to see how he develops this year, and I'm sure he'll get his opportunity at some point.
Front row.
Hey, Connor, Johnny Condon, ABC 3340 in Birmingham. Kirby Smart was just up here, was asked a question about league expansion and that potentially the Auburn-Georgia game could be on the chopping block. Can you imagine a world where that rivalry game would go away, and what does that game personally mean to you?
That game's big for me personally because obviously I'm from Georgia. Grew up, a lot of my friends are Georgia fans, so I'd hate to see that game go. But yeah, I think that's a staple of the history between two programs too, so,
4th row.
Connor, obviously you got to have a connection with all the quarterbacks, especially as a center. But talk about your connection with Jackson and how that's kind of grown from the spring, the kind of work that y'all do in the summer, and just how that's developed.
Yeah, it was cool to see because he came in from another SEC program. So when he first got here, we got a chance to watch some film, and I got to pick his brain about some things he's done differently. But I can't speak highly enough about him off the field, just as a person. I mean, we've gotten a chance to go out to eat with the receivers, quarterbacks, running backs, and just getting to know each other. I think that helps with us meshing. But really, all three of the quarterbacks, I could say the same about them.
4th row.
Connor, you got two guards on either side of you who have played a lot of college football in Dylan Wade and Jeremiah Wright. How has that helped, being around guys that veteran, and what have you learned from those teammates?
I think the biggest thing with those guys returning, it makes our communication a lot more efficient. That way, if we do get into a sticky situation, maybe something we didn't practice during the week, we have more time and we're kind of on the same page faster where we can communicate and figure out how we want to block something.
Third row.
Good morning, Connor. AP Stedham, APS, we see it. Connor, how was it to block for Jackson Arnold and Deuce Knight and the other quarterback from Stanford?
Yeah, they're extremely talented, and like I said, we've meshed super well since all of them got here, and they're all great people off the field, so that kind of makes you want to block harder for them when you're on the field.
Connor, you always hear that offensive linemen are the best talkers and most interesting people to talk to on a team. Why is that?
I think just something about being in an offensive line room, there's a bunch of people from all over the place. Obviously, that's the biggest room on the team, so you're balancing a lot of different characters, personalities, so I think that's what makes them unique.
Right side.
Alex Byington on 3. Connor, Hugh mentioned that within a couple months, Jackson was able to kind of become a team leader so far as voting everybody went. What specifically was he able to do to gather everybody's, favoritism at that point?
I think it was just came down to his natural command of the team. Obviously, you want a quarterback that won't shy away from that type of stuff and will speak up when needed, and I think he showcased that from the moment he stepped on campus and kind of took the team over by doing that.
Fourth row.
Connor, you and Keldric have been together since you guys came in the same recruiting class. How have you seen him develop as a player, going from a guy who was really talented out of high school, and now you look and he's at most places projected as a first-round pick next year?
It's been really cool because obviously we got in at the same time, so that means every year we've been together, we've gotten a chance to compete in our own ways, and I think it's made me better. I hope he say it made him better too, getting a chance to compete against me. But just seeing him, develop as a pass rusher, develop in the run game, going from someone out of high school to now someone who can do a bunch of different things, and I'm glad we don't have to play him in the fall because that'd be a nightmare to scout and do all that stuff and watch film on. So
We'll go on the fourth, and then we'll finish here with two in the front.
Jarquez was obviously a huge part of last year's offense. Auburn moving on without him with some new faces at the running back position. What can you say about that group and the production that you expect this year?
Yeah, I think having guys like Cobb and Damari who have come back and they've experienced offense now, and Darrell too. Really, he came in a little banged up, but all three of them really seem to understand what we're trying to accomplish in the run game, and they're all talented in their own ways. So I'm excited for all of them to get their opportunities and help us.
Front row.
There's obviously 6 or 7 of you older guys that who are a couple of young guys maybe off the radar that might surprise some people this year on the offensive line that if they have a chance to play can get in there and get the job done.
I know on the D-line we talked about Jordan Crawford, I think Malik Autry too, Jared Smith. On the offensive line, Cale Ellis, Jacoby Ward, Ty Buster, all of them, I'm speaking on the offensive line room, but all of them have picked up the calls and everything pretty fast for freshmen. So whenever their time comes, I think it'll be good to see.
No doubt about it, Connor. You talk about the progression now being in this system for quite some time now, and just the progression of not only yourself, but just what you're seeing to consistently play at the SEC level. Just kind of how do you bring it each season, or how you improve each season?
I think just focusing, like for me this season, it was big to focus on like the bigger picture. And obviously, when you first get in as a freshman, you can't do that. So just finding new areas to help you help the team really.
Connor, thank you very much.
Thank you, guys.